Smith, Hardy Gray's instructor. Just like to give you a few tips for all newcomers to fly fishing. Certainly when we're starting off with a single-handed trout rod, and that's how most of you are going to get started for sure. Essentially, always think about wearing glasses. These are your protection, same as a hat. It's the last thing we want is for people to get hooks and flies in their faces and their eyes. All right, now, as far as the overhead cast is concerned, a few errors that people make, and let's try and get them sorted out for you straight away. When you lift off to make that initial cast, start with the rod tip close to the water. That way, as you lift, you are loading the rod ready for that forward cast. A lot of people start with the rod absolutely up in the air like this, and then what happens is you try and make the cast, you just don't have the loading in the rod to throw that line clearly to the back of you. So just bring that around absolutely front to the camera. Now another thing that is a problem is you always hear about people that break at the wrist. And this is when we make the cast, and instead of stopping there, which is the correct position to stop at, we let that rod drop back. And therefore, instead of stopping the rod in the right position, we're letting that rod drop far too far backwards, and therefore the line will drop to the back of the grass area as well. So, to get over that, what I do suggest is that you imagine that you're using a hammer. Now, you wouldn't use a hammer by rotating it all over the place. You'd use your forearm tap going forward, just as if you were hanging a picture up or something like that. So, there's the nail in the wall, just lift up, tap forward, and you will get an absolutely perfect position going forward. All right? Put that down there. Balance of a rod. For a newcomer, an essential thing to consider here is the fact of buying kit that balances. So we have a rod, reel, and there the whole thing is in one position such. A lot of people will end up buying a reel that is far too light for the rod, and therefore the rod has a tendency to bounce down like that. And that's going to affect the way that you make your stops going forward. On the other hand, you might have got a reel that's far too heavy. That's going to come back, and that's also going to affect your ability to cast. Finally, what I would suggest to all of you is look after your lines. It really is essential to make sure that these lines are properly cleaned. There are some really great cleaners out there. They'll put a slick surface to the line. You're going to cast further with it, and it's just going to enhance your entertainment in all of your fishing going forward.